I was probably, when I first started surfing, I was about 11 years of age. And my dad and mum took us as a family on holiday to Bude, and we had bought this surfboard in this surf shop, this 1970s horrific surfboard, and we didn't know what side of the board to wax it. And I remember my dad saying we have to wax the bottom to make it go faster. And we're asking the lifeguard. He's going, no, you got to wax the top. It's for grip. And we knew nothing about it. But my dad threw me out in the water and pushed me into my first wave. And the moment I felt that sensation of being powered by the ocean and this connection to what was happening around me, I was hooked, left, right, and centre. That was that. And it was at that particular time I was going through a really tough time in my life. I was being bullied and I was struggling massively in school and having a hard time. It's almost as if God gave me surfing as just a real blessing in my life. And right the way back, as I look back through the years, I just can see how God has blessed me with surfing. And I just remember seeing Chariots of Fire, and the guy who's in it, he says, the famous runner says, God smiles when I run. And I remember watching it and thinking, I think that God smiles when I surf. You got to smile when I surf because I'm so bad. It's a laugh a minute, but it feels like kind of God gave me that connection with the ocean and that connection with Him through surfing. So that's why I get up stupid early in the morning, because it's not just me going for a surf. It's me spending time in God's creation. It's me spending time with God out in the water. It's a really spiritual thing, and often I really feel God speak to me when I'm in the water about all sorts of different stuff in my own life, stuff with my family, stuff to do with kind of stuff that's happening in the world and it's happening in my church, in my town. And often I'll kind of get words from God with regards to what to preach on, and that will often happen in the water. And then with wet hands and wet hair and a surfboard under my arm, I kind of run back home and write some of these things down and have a little read of the Bible, and kind of sets me up for the day. So it's surfing for me is far more than just going and riding waves. It's a real spiritual thing, which I love. I just love it. So that's why I'll go out, whether it's freezing cold or gloriously sunny. I'm there if there's waves, even if there's not waves.
Originally, I was a high school maths teacher for 10 years, and then we went to Bible college for 4 years. And during our time in Bible college, it was, okay, God, where are you calling us? And we really felt, we looked at what we had on hand. We had French citizenship, we loved surfing, and we knew that France was traditionally a place where it's called a post-Christian country, where it's like God's been and gone. And a French saying was, I'm French, I'm Catholic, I'm an atheist. So it's like France has been quite a religious place, but now religious, but the faith hasn't, like Jesus hasn't touched their hearts and changed their lives. So we thought, okay, yeah, we'll come to France to share the gospel here, to plant new churches. And the church isn't just a Sunday religious thing. Church is a community of believers following Jesus and loving God. And so we started the journey of, okay, well, we're in France. And we thought, okay, well, where are people most like us? We love surfing. The surfing community is a real subculture. So we thought, okay, God's calling us to France. And I thought, well, where's the best surf in France? So it was a bit of a selfish decision, but I think inspired by God. And we started then to look at this part of France, Osgore, Biarritz, the southwest coast.
Christian était un surfeur confirmé avec mon fils Samuel, et ils allaient souvent, c'était vraiment deux amis très, très chers. Et les deux, ils allaient souvent prier au Hossegor. Quand ils allaient faire du surf à Hossegor, ils priaient vraiment le Seigneur que se construire une église chez les surfeurs. Alors le miracle s'est produit quelques années après. lorsqu'il y a eu une conférence de surfeurs qui est venue à Hossegor, et accidentellement je suis allé, je ne savais pas 2 heures avant, je ne savais pas, j'ignorais qu'il y avait une conférence de surfeurs.
On internet, we tried to find, Google some churches and we couldn't find any. And then so I rang Brett Davis with Christian Surfers and I said, hey Brett, do you know of is Christian Surfers exist in the southwest of France? And because we're trying to find some contacts to do a visit. And he said, Christophe, it's unbelievable, you wouldn't imagine, we're really wanting to start a work among the surfers of France because Osgore, Biarritz, it's the surfing capital of Europe and there's no Christian presence there in the surfing community. And actually in 2004, the end of 2004, September, we're having the Christian Surfers International Conference. So it was like, okay, God, these are little confirmations. So we visited the churches that Brett already had contact with on our little exploratory mission. And then in 2004, the end of 2004, I came back with 2 of my oldest kids to the International Christian Surfers Conference.
Et ce soir-là, un miracle s'est produit, c'est que justement, ça a été incroyable, j'ai rencontré Christophe, je lui ai parlé un peu et il m'a confié sa trajectoire, pourquoi il était ici, dans le sud de la France. Et je ne me suis pas rendu compte, mais je lui ai demandé, je lui ai dit que sa place était ici, sur la côte basque. Ça c'est incroyable parce que c'était une parole de prophétie.
Between Bayonne, Biarritz and Bordeaux, 200 kilometres of coastline, there was no evangelical church. So you've got a 200-kilometre coastline of no church, no evangelical church, and we thought, let's start, our call to be working amongst surfers. So Osgore, we felt, okay, we had a small team of people that were willing to participate with us to help start that church there. We had this backing of the Baptist Church of Biarritz, the Reformed Church here in Bayonne. They had an empty church building that they let us use, and so we started that summer just with a small team of people, and it's a bit like if you build it, they will come, pretty slack with the advertising, with everything, and just people just started to come, and yeah, that's how it started.
I was ill one day, I had the flu and I was feeling a little bit sorry for myself. Didn't go to work and I was just kind of hanging out with God and praying a little bit, and I was just like, Lord, like what's your plan for my life? Like where am I going? What am I doing? And I just really felt him say, you're going to go abroad. So I'm like, okay, all right. So this was at 10 o'clock in the morning on the 1st of December 2009. And then, so that afternoon, I get a text message from an old boss who said, oh, hey Simon, there's a job you might be interested in, and in brackets, based in France. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of crazy. And literally 3 months to the day, first day at work out in France. Didn't really know what to expect the first time we went to Surf Church, because you have, I don't know, I had this image of what church looked like coming from England, and that, I guess that's what I expected, and kind of turn up with Christophe, and it's so not that. It wasn't. Kind of grew up more sort of traditional church, I guess, and it was just. I mean, Christophe was preaching in his board shorts and flip flops. I was like, okay, this is interesting, but it was just. It was so welcoming.
C'était un petit groupe de personnes de Biarritz qui venaient dans le van avec 8 ou 9 places et qui se déplaçaient à Osgore pour tout installer dans cette petite église en bois dans la forêt et pour organiser le culte du dimanche soir.
Looking back, it was one of those really kind of turning points in my life where it's like, where yeah, you start to lead people in worship, and it's just absolutely love it.
C'était l'aventure, c'était l'échappatoire de Biarritz, venir à Osgore et louer le Seigneur dans la forêt. Et comme ça, au fur et à mesure, on a rencontré des locaux qui se sont joints à nous et qui nous rejoignaient tous les dimanches soirs.
And we were just really kind of praying for somebody to really take the lead and actually live in the area, just to kind of establish this church really as part of the community.
There's a shortage of French pastors, and even if there was one, what French pastor do I know that surfs and that has a heart for doing church in a bit more relaxed way that we've been doing surf church? And then Rich rings, says, Christoph, we're going to move to Osgore and we're going to start a church. And I said on that phone call, I said, hey Rich, why don't you just take mine? And I thought, afterwards I hung up, I thought, oh, that was probably a bit too quick.
Et il y avait ce gros van rouge avec cette famille de blonds, ils étaient tous blonds. Et je me suis dit, tiens, c'est qui?
And that was the first year that we actually ran meetings during the winter.
Richard et Reggie ont aussi dédié leur temps à la Surf Church. Donc ça a permis d'avoir des événements en semaine, ça a permis de se voir en dehors du dimanche, d'avoir une église locale au quotidien.
Osgore is a place where very wealthy people live, and also you've got a bunch of people who are chasing the dream of living somewhere beautiful where there's great waves and great sunshine, a great kind of outdoor lifestyle. So you have therefore kind of people who are living in their camper vans, trying to make a go of it, trying to find a job. People are desperate, trying to get their foot in to living and sharing a little piece of the pie, and then other people who own many pieces of the pie because they've got lots and lots of money. It's a place where those two people meet and hang out, and there seems to be no kind of class divide between as well, which is really interesting.
It's incredible. Just there's something that I can't quite put into words. There's just something special about the place. Like, we're on the beach, there's the mountains in the background, like just the way life is.
The French-speaking locals are super stoked when you try to speak French. So I am very good at trying, but I'm not so good at talking. They've been incredibly welcoming, considering that I come from another country and I am a minister, a vicar, which is a very strange thing for them. Because a pastor is a rarity, and one that surfs is, that's really kind of blowing their mind. So they're very curious of who I am and what I do, and so it leads to some great conversations. That's Daddy right here.
I like watching Daddy on TV.
We got married on the 10th of April. It was sunshine and everybody got burnt, which looked like a watermelon the next day. Very attractive.
Come on then. Let's go get our clothes on, little monkey. Come on.
No. I'll carry on watch Pepper, tell you what you
Let's
missed.
put Pepper here.
9. Don't drop it, Indy.
No, you can drop it.
Right then. What would you like for breakfast?
Yeah. Thank you, Jesus, for our breakfast. Bless it to us today. Amen.
Amen. And thank you, Lord, for bringing Phil Hicks. He's such a nice chap. School getting better for you? And you beginning to speak the language a little bit?
Where is he speaking? Yeah.
Hey, they're much better than I am, Phil.
She's taking the mic out of me, isn't she, your sister? For a week, and I used to say 30 point each morning, and then just one day I decided to make snappers for the day. And he certainly, that was all his speech was all about. Joel Parkinson needs a jet ski to turn out.
Yeah. Indy, come and get your thing.
See you later.
Have a nice day, kids.
Come on, Hans. In terms of you know, you can tell, like in England, the English like to make a little bit of comments about the French, but it's vice versa. So when we've arrived, they probably just thought, oh, you know, they're Sisonese, they'll be gone within a year, and a lot of people weren't really bothered, I think, getting to know us properly, because they thought, you know, they'll be come and gone before we know it. And then when we come back in September, everybody was like, you're back, wow, c'est une belle surprise, blah blah. And things have really changed. Like in the first few months, it was pretty hard making friends, but now I'm getting invited by the local girls for coffee in the local coffee bars, and do sport with them, go stand up paddling or whatever, and it's really cool. But it took a while. It wasn't easy to get into the whole scene, and sort of the circle of Hossegor, you know, it's even the French who sort of moved here and got settled here say it's really hard to get into the local French girls' clique. Well, I seem to be in it now.
Hey.
Reggie has just loved being here as well, and she's come alive in sharing her faith with people, and just is always involving herself in conversations about anything from the minutiae of life to the big questions, and she's thriving out here in this environment.
Ready?
Although we've got a really good circle of friends from people who come to church, and also people at school and so on, surfing culture, surf club, we continue to seed into new people's lives, making new friends, expanding our circle of friends, you know, and get a sense of where the Holy Spirit is working with what people's lives. There's already seeds being sown, and there has. It's incredible. We didn't know whether there was any other Christians other than Christoph and his family.
But we knew the land and we knew the passion for the place.
We knew our heart, and we believed that God had a special plan, and he kept confirming that not only before but also after we've arrived, and that was a great comfort.
A big vehicle of a church to suddenly into a little hatchback. And this week has been a week of kind of catching up with lots of people in the church, lots of meetings about our plan to plant new churches. So I've been meeting with some friends to kind of talk that through with them, and we have some local people that are part of Surf Church that are interested in training for that, to go and plant new churches. Christian surfers have been here with us, Phil Williams, and Phil is the director of Christian surfers for the whole of the UK and for Europe, and so he's been catching up with Reggie and I and talking through some of the plans for the future, catching up with some of my friends, some of my surfer friends, and just some of the guys in town. It's been a busy old week, really.
Riding, I'm screaming at him, he's coming towards me, I'm paddling out. Ah! Ow, 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 ow! Get down! God!
slightly comes past me, but not far enough. Then it just jumps off, ditches the board. I dive under, I feel the leash go over my back. I think, oh good, I've got past it. Then the leash stretches, comes flying back. As it comes flying back, it comes into my leg.
So my boyfriend, his parents live here, so he really liked it. We lived in Holland first, and he kind of missed it, and here it's better weather and stuff. So we decided, Jerome's mom, so my boyfriend, she said, why won't you come here and just live here? And we were like, why not? So yeah, we decided to move here, and at first we didn't know what we were gonna do, and I worked in a sushi bar, and we're like, yeah, well, we'll try it, and it turned out really well. So really happy that everything turned out well, and then we have our good clients now, and people are liking it and coming back. So really good, and Jerome, of course, for the surfing.
And then you get so much speed because you're actually almost standing still when you come in. Yeah. And because it's hollow, you feel the foam all like pushing you out. Those are really good. It's like you remember. I went surfing and I saw him out, and he was like smiling the whole time. And there's a lot of people in the water, and they look really grumpy, like they hate life. And he was just paddling around like that. And then I said hi, and he said hi, and then he got some waves, and then I paddled for a few waves. And every time when he was in the side, he was like shouting. I was like, what's this weird guy shouting like? But he was stoked, you know. He was like just screaming. We surfed, I think, for like 2 months together for the whole winter, and there was no one out, and then we started chatting, and from that came the rest. Yeah.
Exactly.
La dernière fois qu'elle a fait un réunion avec mon papa et maman, elle a fait pleurer à moi dans le réunion devant mon papa et maman.
Oh, elle est pas très gentille. Mais c'est pas grave, tu vas y arriver.
Tu vas arriver.
Tu
Bien sûr.
Tu es un compétiteur, comme en surf.
Oui.
Mais déjà, tu as bien progressé par rapport à l'année dernière.
Oui.
Donc voilà.
Donc, vas-y, donc. Assis pas ici, on va aller
dehors.
Et voilà. De champ. De champ. Et de farine.
Oui, tu comprends?
Non.
Le champ, c'est comme tu es dans la campagne. Il y a beaucoup de champs. C'est des grands terrains, comme des grands jardins.
Some of the highlights of the last year. Man, there's been loads of high moments, and there's been lots of low moments, really. It's been a really up and down year. I think probably the moment that I really kind of went, this is a great place to be, and God's really all over it, was when the first French local person got saved, who's a surfer. She kind of ticked all the boxes. A girl called Julie, and her journey into faith was through a friend of ours who was working in Biarritz as a missionary, and she was just her neighbour, and she started to share the gospel with her and bring her along to Surf Church. She came to our Alpha course, and then she made this commitment to Christ, and it's just been fantastic to see her grow in faith.
Je m'appelle Julie et malheureusement je n'habite plus actuellement à Hossegor. J'ai vécu 6 mois à Hossegor parce que j'étais en stage pour mes études. J'étais en stage à la Fédération française de surf pour organiser les compétitions en France. Et du coup maintenant je recherche du travail ici sur la côte pour pouvoir rester et surfer ici. Il y a 2 mois je me suis blessée à la jambe et ça a été très très dur pour moi parce que je pouvais rien faire et je n'ai pas l'habitude de rester dans le canapé à rien faire. Et du coup j'ai des amis qui sont à la Surf Church qui m'ont dit d'ouvrir la Bible et de prier pour que ça aille mieux pour ma jambe et aussi de lâcher prise, de tout remettre à Dieu pour qu'il m'arrive que des choses positives et que j'arrive à me relâcher et à plus stresser pour ma vie. Et du coup il y a 2 semaines, depuis que j'ai vraiment réussi à tout relâcher et à vraiment prier, je sais pas, il y a quelque chose qui est descendu sur moi, j'ai pleuré toutes les larmes de mon corps. Et depuis ce jour-là, je me sens mais vraiment encore mieux qu'avant, enfin vraiment heureuse.
I'm sure he's open because it's sunny. Will I come down with Sarah?
Yeah.
Oh no, I can't reach it.
I can take with me.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Thank you. Some Sunday school stuff. Okay?
Okay.
So we'll see you down then.
Okay, well, yeah.
Ce qui m'a plu à la Surf Church en premier lieu, c'est d'une, le côté informel. À l'époque, on était dans un bar. Il n'y avait pas le côté structure de l'église, il y avait juste le côté, c'est des gens qui se rassemblent pour louer Dieu et pour avoir un bon moment. Ce que j'ai aimé, c'est ce côté que c'est des relations qui se construisent les uns avec les autres. Et dans un moment où j'avais perdu la relation la plus importante que j'avais dans ma vie, ça m'a aidé, c'était une bouchée d'oxygène tous les dimanches, de venir voir des gens qui construisaient d'autres relations et des relations profondes. Et c'était ce qui m'a vraiment aidé au départ avec Surf Church.
So often our relationships are about making us feel good.
Parce que souvent, en fait, nos relations, c'est plutôt pour essayer de se sentir bien nous-mêmes. Par rapport aux autres.
When you love God more,
quand on aime Dieu plus encore,
you need people less.
On a encore moins besoin des gens.
But you're free to love them more.
Mais vous êtes libre de les aimer plus.
Sometimes in life we can't help but become focused upon our needs.
Et des fois dans la vie, on est concentré plutôt sur nos besoins.
But the challenge that God has for us,
mais le challenge que Dieu a pour nous,
is to bring our needs to Him,
c'est d'amener nos besoins à lui,
and allow Him to provide for us,
et que lui puisse pourvoir à nos besoins,
and not to look to others to fill the hole.
Et pas de regarder vers les autres pour remplir ce vide.
Now sure, God will use people to bless you.
Je suis sûr que Dieu amène ces gens-là aussi pour vous bénir.
Look at the incredible blessing that God has brought into my life.
Regardez la bénédiction incroyable que Dieu a amené dans ma vie.
It's true.
Une vraie bénédiction.
God has blessed me so much.
C'était vraiment tellement grand.
So God uses us to bring blessing to one another.
En fait, Dieu les utilise les uns les autres pour être bénis.
Be a carrier of blessing.
Soyez vraiment porteurs de cette bénédiction.
Okay, we're the Surf Church Hossegor crew.
On est vraiment l'équipe de Surf Church.
These guys are going to go on their journey.
Donc on a
to an exciting future.
Un chemin à suivre dans un futur vraiment
This is
génial.
Our exciting future.
C'est notre futur.
And we need one another.
On a vraiment besoin les uns des autres.
You need one another.
Vraiment besoin.
Look around and look at these people that you need.
Regardez autour de vous et ces gens dont vous
You
avez
need
besoin.
Sometimes you wish you didn't need them.
Vous avez besoin d'eux. Des fois vous dites, j'espère en fait que je vais peut-être avoir besoin d'eux.
But God's put us together to be church.
Mais en fait, l'Église nous a mis ensemble pour être ensemble.
Right.
Pour être une Église.
Huddle up. Get close. Arms around one another. In and around. That's it. In and around.
Yeah, God, I just want to pray blessings over them for the next few months, Father. God, we just ask that they would taste and see your goodness, Father.
tu puisses leur enseigner vraiment ta bonté, Seigneur.
And just use this circle of friends here just to make that known, God.
Ce cercle d'amis, Seigneur, pour qu'on puisse vraiment les toucher, Seigneur.
Yes. Amen. Amen.
I had to find new premises to do church. We've gone into this little cafe bar on the beach front, which is kind of at the centre of our town, a place called Coolin, at the invitation of the owner, who said that he'd be really excited for us to do church. And since we've been there, the last 2 weeks, it has been horrific. So this Sunday was so bad that I pulled all the church back to our house after we'd finished, just to kind of re-establish why we're there and why we're doing what we're doing. The reason we're in this very dark environment and this difficult situation is because we're wanting to take the gospel to these people, and to be in a place like this is very important for our journey as a church.
Donc comme j'ai dit, donc je suis chrétienne depuis 3 ans et demi, et il y a des vérités en fait, des vérités bibliques que je mette en premier dans ma vie. Il y a des choses où je suis très noir et blanc. Il y a des choses où je me dis ça doit être fait d'une certaine façon. Et c'est vrai qu'on arrive là et c'est un peu déstabilisant en fait. On se rend compte que c'est pas le format traditionnel. Et oui, c'est ce que j'aime, mais par exemple, une fois, on a dû faire l'église dans le Coolin, donc qui est un bar, en plein milieu d'une place en fait où il y a beaucoup de bars, beaucoup de soirées. Moi, c'est une place où j'ai passé 10 ans de ma vie, 10 étés, à faire vraiment n'importe quoi. Et j'aime partager ma foi dans la rue. C'est vraiment quelque chose que j'aime faire. Si je pouvais y aller tous les jours, bon là je sais que Dieu me prépare dans mes études bibliques, mais moi j'ai envie de partager ma foi, vraiment partager la vérité de qui Jésus est et son amour. Ça c'est vraiment quelque chose que je veux faire. Mais là, quand Rich a commencé à dire on va pouvoir être vu, il y avait 2 côtés en fait en moi. Il y avait waouh, mais c'est une opportunité juste extraordinaire. Mais en même temps, oui, mais quelle image a-t-on de l'église? Oui, c'est une église simple, c'est une église, nous sommes l'église, certes. Mais pour moi, tout était un peu brouillé en fait, dans le sens où, mais qu'est-ce que vont croire les gens? Qu'on est comme eux? Qu'on va dans des bars? Qu'on est cool? Et ça a été juste des moments extraordinaires, limite à la fin, quand on nous a demandé c'est la fin, c'était une déception. Parce qu'il y avait eu tellement de miracles, des gens qui rentraient en disant « mais j'ai pas d'église, je viens de Pau, je vous ai entendu chanter, je suis rentrée, ah mais ça y est, j'ai trouvé mon église, ah waouh, on a pu prier pour des gens, des rencontres magnifiques. » Et même des gens que je connaissais dans le monde du surf professionnel, qui sont vraiment loin de Dieu, qui commençaient à rentrer. Et oui, là j'ai dû me repentir, j'ai dû dire « mince Florence, maintenant, t'as pas besoin de paniquer. Tu regardes à Jésus et lui te conduit là où il veut. » Donc voilà, ça a été un gros challenge.
It's not so easy in this location. It's a little bit strange for the church to be meeting in this kind of bar that's right down in the centre of Hossegor, with these big glass windows that everybody kind of walks past and looks in. So the church has been through a bit of a journey, trying to feel comfortable in that environment. So exciting though, because I think church shouldn't be comfortable all the time. It makes you question what we're doing and why we're doing it. So I think there's a lot of people in the church right now who are doing lots of thinking about who we are, what we do, and so therefore I'm doing lots of talking about that with people.
It's the most desirable place in South France to come on holiday, so all the Parisians come down here for their holidays, so the locals rent out the houses. So our landlord rents this house out at an extortionate price. So it's impossible to get somewhere for the summer here. So that's why we end up in a caravan or a camper van, whatever it may be, because you just can't get a house all year round. You can't rent houses all year round. It's very, very hard.
Yeah, so we are now here on the campsite, and last time it was all a bit grey around here, and it is now because it's now end of August, and the summer is kind of like not quite over but almost over. And
my summer has been the maddest 2 months. It began with us leaving our house and moving into a caravan, which was fantastic because it was much better than last year where we were in a little camper van.
It beats last summer in terms of having a little bit more of a comfortable setup. Definitely, it's been lovely having a kitchen to cook, and a fridge has been quite essential.
So we've been living in a caravan. I spent around about 3 weeks at the beginning of the holiday, the kids' holiday, with the family and running church and doing our stuff. Then I left for the UK to run New Wine, Soul Survivor, and do a bunch of meetings while back in the UK. So that was crazy because we're running a skate park there, and we're working long hours, sleeping in the back of my van. So even though the family were living in the caravan, I was back in the trusted red van for a long period of time. Halfway through that, I flew back to France, dealt with some stuff that was taking place in church life. It was good to get a few days with the family because I'd not seen my kids and my wife for most of their summer holiday.
One of the most precious moments I had with God was when Rich came home briefly after 3 weeks of me being alone with the children, and I just went to the beach. I said, right honey, I'll just be half an hour just to get some fresh air, some me time, and I saw the most incredible sunset I've ever seen. It was absolutely amazing. The colours were undescribable, and it was just like so overwhelming to see God's goodness and His faithfulness in everything. And it was just like, yes, I am who I am, and I will never change. I will never change my faithfulness. My grace is new every morning. I'll always be with you, always be beside you. I'll never fail you, I'll never leave you. And yes, I know that, but I felt it so tangible. And it just resonates with me every day.
Then back out to England to finish off the events there, then drove back here, then went straight into the summer session mission.
Welcome. Good to see you. Any French? Oh, it's getting so. How are you doing? Welcome.
Hello, how are you?
See you. Bonjour, bonjour. It's the beginning of summer session, 2014. You just don't look our best. We're shattered. You always look your best.
The concept behind summer sessions is to gather together young people from across Europe to explore what the next 10 years of church planting looks like, to explore what it means to live missionally for Christ in our everyday culture. So this year we kind of experimented with that by bringing some young people from the UK, around about 40 or so young people, just to really kind of try it out and see how we get on and explore some of those themes.
Alors, je m'appelle Alexandre et je suis avec Antoine et Sophie, le créateur de ce lieu qui est le Circus. Surf Church est arrivé ici avant l'été, je crois. Antoine, Surf Church est depuis juin? Depuis mai.
Surf Church is a place where people can come and explore faith, where people can come and deepen their faith, where people get discipled, where people explore a deeper meaning, who God is for them.
Ben, je pense que c'est une façon intéressante d'aborder la religion, que l'initiative de Surf Church est assez ouverte. En tout cas, c'est ça qui fait que moi je suis d'accord pour que Surf Church soit au Circus. C'est qu'il y a une véritable ouverture d'esprit, je pense.
Antoine and Alex have just been brilliant, really welcoming of us. They're not Christians, but they've been super cool, and we've tried to find ways to help them. So we pulled the summer session guys in this summer to help sort the place out and do some work for them.
On a beaucoup de choses à faire dans ce lieu pour le réaménager pour qu'on puisse faire tout ce qu'on veut y faire en fait. Et voilà, que Surf Church soit venu nous aider, c'est vraiment super. Ouais. C'est vraiment génial. C'est grâce à Richard notamment qui est un mec super, qui arrête pas, qui a 100 à l'heure et dès qu'on a besoin de lui, il est là et c'est génial.
Think about church, to start to think about mission, to start to think about your life and start to make some choices which are not based upon what you've seen in the past, but now you start to look at the next 10, 20 years and you start to have conversations with one another, you start to look at the Bible for yourselves and you start to explore this stuff and get really energized. My life, my spiritual life truly took off around about 6 or 7 years ago as I just started to look again at what church is, as I started to look again at who God is, and as I started to look at what that meant for my life. As I started to preach this stuff, we've just had 15-hour days, even with Indy, the little one, so we're all very tired. But the young people just been absolutely incredible. And what was the most encouraging thing for me to see was that their outlook has changed about mission, that they can see the reality more clearly, what it means to be on mission. And one of the most beautiful things for me to see was that Mani and AJ really engaged with the young people. They had an absolutely amazing time and a blast, and the young people teaching them and caring for them, and also them two being really engrossed into worship and into the teaching sessions.
Great moment, particularly there was this one night during worship and I was just kind of playing the guitar and I was looking out at all these young people, and there was about 40 or 50 there, And the thought struck me, it's like how far things have come. I think just coming from a couple of years ago with Christoph in the back room, freezing cold in winter, to these young people coming from another country to learn how to do mission and learn how to church plant, and just praising the Lord was just like, how did this happen? Like come on, you could never have predicted that. And what's exciting about it is that in these 2.5 years, like, God's done so much stuff, and when you look at the people He's got to work with, it's nothing short of a miracle, to be honest. Because but it's so encouraging to see that when we just turn up and give Him our best, He just does incredible things.
Get a bigger one! Hello, get a bigger one! Shared the summer with Kevin, and Kevin is a guy who got saved at Surf Church about a year ago, and I thought it'd be wonderful to take him back to the UK to be part of the summer festival season there, and just to be able to see him grow in faith and just lost in worship has been fantastic.
Il y a un an, j'avais une vie très rangée. J'avais une copine, des projets sur l'avenir, mon diplôme, mon entreprise pour mon diplôme, une maison, un chien, la voiture, tout ce qu'il fallait. Et je me suis séparé avec ma copine, donc ça a tout remis en question, les plans sur l'avenir, et je ne savais plus trop où j'allais. Et voyant que j'avais essayé de construire sur des bonnes bases c'était 5 ans de ma vie où j'avais construit des choses, et en une semaine tout s'était envolé. J'ai commencé à me poser des questions sur le sens de la vie, pourquoi vraiment on construit sur des choses qui sont si fragiles que ça. Et, en un an, je vois le chemin que j'ai fait en un an, où je pars il y a un an, où j'avais une vie vraiment basée sur un métier, des bonnes valeurs, mais c'était la famille, avoir une maison, avoir une voiture, un métier. C'était quand même des choses très matérielles. Et un an après, j'ai plus de métier à l'instant présent, j'ai plus d'endroit où vivre, j'ai aucun plan sur l'avenir, mais j'ai appris tout au long de l'année à mettre vraiment Jésus en premier dans ma vie, et à dépendre de lui, et à construire ma vie sur lui. Et bien que j'ai plus quasiment aucune chose matérielle, et que je n'ai pas de plan à 5 ans qui soit défini comme j'avais avant, il m'apporte la sécurité, il m'apporte l'espoir que que je suis à la place, que je réponds à la raison pour laquelle j'ai été créé, que je suis en train d'y répondre à travers ce que je fais. C'est peut-être plus d'incertitude, mais Dieu est là pour répondre à ces incertitudes. Et c'est ça qui est magique, c'est que les incertitudes qu'il crée en vivant avec lui de cette manière, il y répond dans le même temps. Et c'est vraiment une vie qui est très différente, mais c'est une vie qui apporte vraiment des réponses, vraiment une sensation d'accomplissement. Et on trouve vraiment un sens à sa vie, parce qu'on comprend que vivre, c'est vivre pour Jésus. Et c'est la seule chose qu'on ne pourra pas nous enlever d'une manière ou d'une autre.
So I'm really excited that Kev has been on this adventure with me in the UK. It's been great to have somebody to share it with. It's been wonderful to see him grow in faith and see him lost in worship, and now back in France, stepping out into missional living and working out what life's going to be like for him in the new season.
So now our next step is the 15th of November. We head back permanently to Australia. My parents are in bad health. My wife's parents are as well, and it's the timing with our kids' schooling. So we feel like it's the right time to head back. I don't know for how long. So we'll just. God does his best stuff when we're out of the way, so we're excited to see what God will do, continuing with Surf Church and growing Surf Church further south towards the Spanish border, and see how God will use Rich and Regs, Rich the visionary, and how God will continue to grow his work when we're not around.
I felt a confirmation this week that the journey of trying to empower young people to live missionally in their context and to release young people to church plant and to chase their dreams while they church plant is really what God has laid upon my life. So this whole kind of training thing and drawing young people from around Europe to explore that, I really feel God said, yeah, this is the thing. I wanted to test it and see how it felt, and it's been a ridiculously busy summer for me, but this has been incredibly refreshing. And to see a bunch of young people that probably wouldn't have seen themselves as church planters walk away thinking, yeah, I could be part of a church plant, reaching a place where there are a people group that haven't been reached before, or enthused and empowered to start to reach their friends in university or college or in their workplace. I felt God really very clearly stamp his seal of approval upon that.
I love the fact that this journey has been difficult, it's been hard, but at the same time, God is so close and Jesus speaks so clearly to us individually and as a family. It's just incredible. I can't explain. There's just not a day which goes past where there's little miracles happening and where there's doors opening, and sometimes the doors feel really close, but then something else happens and like things interlink, and I can see God at work in everything, and I feel so alive because of that. I feel so excited because of that, and I just don't want it to stop. But I'm kind of like ready to move out again now, being a little bit sardined in with 3 kids in the caravan. But it's been good as well. We've had some amazing moments in the summer.
This morning we didn't know whether we had a house, and we didn't know where the caravan was going to go, or whether we'd be living this for another month or so. But good news is this morning I met with our proprietor, and he's eaten all the sandwiches. He's going to let us go back into the house so we can move in today, which is great. And the caravan, well, I don't know what we're going to do with it yet. We can pay for storage, but that's €500 for the year. And right now, this is the month that all the bills go. Insurance for the kids, insurance for the house, the first month's rent, proprietaire tax, habitation tax. So €500. So getting a new tyre in France is actually a big deal, because you've got to know what the word is for new tyre. And up until this week, I can never remember it. And the word for tyre is... No, it's not.
Oh, yes.
Prelo, isn't it? No, it's not right, is it? What is it? It's not. That's not the word for a new tyre.
Who can also mean...
Wheel.
Yeah, it can mean
this,
that, but
this
also...
is for type. Prenue. Prenue. It's prenue. It's prenue. There we go. Ow. The word for tyre is prenue. Nouvelle prenue, s'il vous plaît. Okay.
It's been a brilliant summer, but I'm more excited about the autumn season and the winter, because that's when it becomes the real season of mission for us, where we get to hang out with all the local people and share life with them and hear their stories and share our stories. So I'm really excited about this, getting our town back from all the tourists, and the fact that I'm not on a plane for at least 6 weeks. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have a sleep and then hit a beach with my wife and kids, possibly surf, maybe even consider sunbathing. I don't normally sunbathe, but maybe I will after this summer. I'll sit in the sun.
Yeah, I was definitely feeling by the time we got to Christmas like I'd not seen much of anyone other than just jumping on a plane every 5 seconds and running around here and trying to get the church going.
So yes, at the end we were like, well, what's the point of doing this if we're not together? So we have made some changes, and I think we have cut some travelling time of Rich.
And I've tried to take now, when I can, I'll take the kids with me on some of these preaching trips that I go on.
Mm-hmm.
And they're brilliant, but this thing is about us being us, and trying to keep the balance between allowing the world into our family, but also having time for us just as the five is really hard, and sometimes we get it wrong. And I think certain times this last year we've got that really wrong.
Oh, nearly! That was all planned.
Was it?
Of course it was.
So we've had to, I've definitely had to do some work, spend some real quality time with Marnie and AJ and Indy, alone time to kind of recover, which I've really needed and they've needed.
And we've decided to have a day off a week as well, which hasn't happened for a while.
This is the crazy thing, is that we're in charge of our own time period, and we make the rules of how we do it.
And yet we forget to spend time with each other.
We forget to take holidays and forget to spend time off.
Hostegård's been really good. Like, it's fantastic in the winter because all the locals pull together and having loads of meals and hanging out in their houses, because that hustle and bustle of the summer life where everybody is busy doing their businesses is not there. So people have time to hang out, and that's really when the friendships deepen, and that's where we share life with each other.
Did the pass. Let's get their second half
Disgusting. This is the mini Reggie.
Yeah.
Come on then, AJ, you can join us. Shane, you don't have to.
I don't even know how it is. No.
It's very simple. Shall I tell you what the kids do? They just go, "Thank you, Jesus, for this food, amen." And they go as fast as they can in order to get to the food.
Okay, thank you, Jesus, amen.
Amen! Yo! It's a rock and roll prayer. They're the ones I like. Yeah, we just love spending time with them. They're great fun. They make us laugh a lot. They just when we're looking to go and hang, there's a few people in town that we love to go spend time with, and if we can't get hold of them, then we get hold of Cheyenne and Jerome and maybe spend some time with them if they're free. You know, they're probably third or fourth down the list.
They've got Nespresso in their shops because always.
And that always takes them to the top of Reggie's list.
Oh,
Jerome, he likes to drop in on me on my waves, so for that, you know, I haven't got that much respect for him. But then he is a good backhand barrel rider. He's very good at riding backhand. Yeah. No, they're awesome. Love them. Cool friends. I like them.
Come on, France! Allez, les bleus!
No, they're red today.
Oh, yeah, it was bleu.
Allez, les rouges! Allez, les rouges!
She's always really related well to me and asking me loads of questions, which sometimes I'm just hanging out with her for a coffee and she comes out with these deep, meaningful things. And I feel so privileged to be there for her, to answer them.
My grandma was super religious, but for me, I don't know, I think there's something, I think I'm trying to figure out what it is, and the thing I like most about Rich and Reggie is that they don't pressure you into anything, so we can ask them all the questions we want.
All the questions.
Yeah, sometimes annoying, but yeah, I don't know exactly. I think there's something, but I can't really figure out what.
It's only started the night we invited them for dinner. And we just had a meal together, and then it was time for the kids to go to bed, and we just hung out in the garden, and they've bombarded us with questions
Grilled
for
us.
3 hours. Until 1 o'clock in the morning.
And I had not one decent answer. I was rubbish.
Too bad.
I was rubbish. I was. Sharon, they came out with phenomenal questions, though, eh?
So I got all these questions I asked Rich 20 million times a day. So when did this happen and why did it happen? Is there evidence of it happening? And I look how the Earth, like I really like history, so I check how the Earth started, dinosaurs and all that stuff.
Didn't know that.
So where did all the water, when the flood took place?
Where did all the water come from?
If the water surrounded the world, no, not where did it come from, where did it go? If the water surrounded the world,
where does all the water
where
go?
did all that water disappear to?
How they started to believe in God. I think that was my favorite question, yeah.
And what about the regionalisation of animals? If all the animals went onto Noah's Ark, so that's a hard thing for a koala to stomach.
Yeah.
Because koalas aren't good at walking, so that koala's had to walk all the way from Australia to make it to the Ark. That's a killer.
Exactly.
You never get the 5 + 5 is 10
Yes.
answer.
So it's kind of hard because they already believe in it. So when they explain something or when there's not an answer, they would say because it's what God wanted, or so for us it's really difficult to understand it because we don't believe in it or yet. So yeah, it's hard to get a really good basic fact answer.
Yeah, but if you ask the question, there's never one moment that they go I don't know.
Exactly.
They always go let me get my Wikipedia out. let's Google this, baby.
Yeah.
So there's always something coming. So that's good.
Yeah.
But man alive, we ask them just as many questions as they ask us. They've got a great handle on life. They're so in love with one another, and they are attentive to each other. They're running this really successful business. And they are doing things really, really well. So there's, it's not just them asking us questions about what life's all about. We're very much chasing some of their advice. Flipping heck, definitely.
So God exists, yeah, and He made everything. But who made God?
Yeah.
Right. Let's call him up. Let's call Rich up now.
Yeah. Is it hot? Sorry? Oh, Regs, we're nearly out of wood.
Well, it didn't really break. The only thing we can do
is do that. Right. Thank you. That's going to go up. Where's Marnie? Marnie! Come here, mate. Hello?
Shall we see if the food's ready? Yeah? Hungry?
Oh, you're going to give us a kiss?
I'm starving.
Why is it that you and your mother just love to get that machine going?
Mum.
And you'll have a cold, AJ. Oh, this smells just not very well.
I'm eating my
How are you?
food. I'm eating my food.
Okay, AJ, why don't you go and get the sleeping bag out of Marnie's room? Next to Indy's bed is a sleeping bag. Why don't you get that?
I'll get my blanket.
Yeah, get your
Okay.
blanket. Sit your blanket. Come on then, let's eat some dinner.
Oh. I get not funny.
So the reason we're all freezing cold in our house is because we have this electricity bill, electricity tariff, which are red, white and blue, and the red days are the crazy expensive days, and it's like 200 times the normal rate.
5 times.
So you basically you can't put anything on. So on the red days, no lighting, no heating, basically no electricity at all, and always the red days are on the coldest days. So we had like the 3 days leading up to Christmas were red days. 4 days after Christmas were red days. It's snowing this morning, red day.
At the end of the day, our house was the only house with actual snow on it because it was so cold.
Yeah.
Compared to the
Everybody else's snow had melted. Our house, not an ounce of snow had moved. So this meal, which we've cooked in here, has cost us around about €1,000. What do you think, Marnie? €1,000? 10. So yesterday we bought pizza instead because we thought it was more cost effective, which Marnie was happy with. So in about 10 minutes time we'll have an alarm go off to tell us whether we have a red day tomorrow or not, and whether we get to have any heating while we sleep, or any heating when we wake up, or whether we can see ourselves when we're getting dressed in the morning.
It's always an adventure.
Oh, I love it. And on a really cold day, having just got out the surf, a salad is exactly what you want to eat. Marnie, you can come to the Bible study with me if you wish. But if you... No, it's an early night for you guys.
We've had lots of late nights in
Daddy's coming with you.
Yeah, but Marnie's a big boy. You're not quite a big boy, you're just a big boy. Soon you'll be a big boy, won't you?
No.
No? You're going to stay small forever?
Ça fait, je me souviens même plus, c'était en novembre, on a commencé les études bibliques ici. Pourquoi? Parce que Reggie, elle m'a demandé. Parce que j'ai une maison chez des enfants, comme ça, pour moi, c'était difficile d'aller chez quelqu'un d'autre le soir. Et Reggie, elle savait que ça va être très important pour moi de participer. Comme ça, je dis, pas de problème, venez. Et j'adore ces moments. On est des petits groupes, on discute, on a des échanges super intenses. Pour mes enfants, au début, c'était un peu « Ok, maman, qu'est-ce qui se passe maintenant ?» Mais aujourd'hui, ils sont là « Ah, il y a des potes de l'église qui viennent ce soir, super, ok. » Et c'est des super moments parce qu'on n'est pas très nombreux. Quelquefois oui, quelquefois non. Mais Powell, il le fait super bien parce qu'il regroupe la discussion quand on part dans des délires, des pensées. Là, il arrive de nous regrouper. Quelquefois, on n'est que des femmes. Ouh, là, il a du boulot. Parce que nous, on... Et j'adore. C'est vraiment des moments d'échange où après, tu dis, waouh, là, j'ai appris quelque chose. C'est super, j'adore. Pourquoi je suis venue, on est venu, c'est pour le surf, parce que oui, les vagues. On a travaillé pour une entreprise de surf en Autriche comme représentant et finalement après installé ici. En début, je voulais rester 2 ans, 3 ans maximum, mais ça fait 18 ans. J'ai 4 garçons qui vont à l'école ici, qui sont 19, 17, 10 et 9 ans et qui sont bien sûr les petits surfeurs, ou grands surfeurs. Ouais. Je pense comme tout le monde, on arrive à un moment dans la vie où on cherche pourquoi on est là, pourquoi, qu'est-ce qui se passe, et on cherche un chemin spirituel. Et moi, vivre ici où il n'y a pas grand-chose, et d'être bien sûr, éduquée d'une façon chrétienne, mais je n'étais pas baptisée, rien. Pour moi, l'église, ce n'était pas le premier chemin à choisir. Comme ça, j'ai choisi d'autres recherches, comme chez des bouddhistes, chez des yogis, des gourous, des chamans. Et il m'a manqué toujours quelque chose. C'était, il y a quelque chose qui craint, il y a quelque chose qui manque là, il y a quelque chose qui n'est pas vrai. Et c'est un sentiment. Là, je sens d'être remplie par quelque chose que je n'ai pas besoin de chercher quelque chose d'autre. J'ai trouvé ce que je cherchais. Comme je dis, mes 2 grands, ils sont venus 1-2 fois à Surf Church, mais c'est un peu trop. Et les 2 petits, ils viennent avec moi, où je dis aussi aux petits, pour moi c'est très important parce qu'ils ne voient pas leur père ne veut pas le voir. Comme ça, aujourd'hui, eux, ils le voient comme ils ont trouvé un père. Ils sont quelque chose où ils peuvent faire confiance, quelque chose qui leur donne l'amour. Et c'est super important pour moi et ils adorent. Il y a les enfants de Reggie et Richard et c'est des bons moments, ils s'aiment chanter. Non. Les 2 petits, je ne les force jamais, mais c'est notre dimanche à 5h, on va là-bas, il n'y a pas de discussion, c'est comme ça. Et il ne faut pas les forcer, c'est bien.
This last year, the most exciting thing is that we've survived. We've survived as a church, literally having moved into 4 venues. Imagine a church surviving that. 4 venues, 4 different places, also being homeless. Last Easter we had no church, no roof over our heads, so we had to move. The Easter service will see 110 people in our house.
So the journey of church over the last 2 years has taken us into a garage, into a basement of a church, into our house, onto the beach, into a bar, another bar,
to
and
a
now
casino.
into the casino. So,
We've forgotten the chapel, haven't we?
Oh, and we went into a traditional church chapel for something different to mix it up, something alternative. Keep it fresh.
Amen.
As church has grown numerically, that's forced us our services to change shape. to cater for a bigger number. You end up setting chairs out in a particular way, you end up communicating in a particular way, and very quickly I found the church service starting to look like a traditional church service with a bunch of songs, some preaching, some notices, and an offering basket. And that really set a humongous panic off inside of me, because I was loving the journey of church looking completely different to what I'd spent the last 20 years, 30 years, 40 years in. So it's been necessary for the church to continue in its growth, but it's really kind of created a bit of a crisis inside of me as to, are we turning into a complacent Christian bubble as opposed to a missional group of people who are trying to do something. So that's why we've started to do these days of blessing, and we're really working on our small groups being a discipling location, and now trying to create a church service which again is very welcoming for people.
So we just went as a crew. The Powell came, and Clara, Lopi and Leon. Who else?
Jerome and Cheyenne.
Oh, Jerome and Cheyenne. And we just felt that we wanted to bless people down in Bayonne. It's a city of which has a lot of homeless people, and we wanted just to bless them, not only with food but also clothing. So we've handed out sleeping bags and shoes and jackets for people, and it was interesting to see the reaction, wasn't it?
And that's the thing, I think it's good as well, as they want to help everyone.
Yeah, they don't think about themselves.
No.
They really put effort in people, because everybody sees a homeless guy and it's like, oh, he's gonna ask money, let's walk around it. But if you listen to him and you can actually do something for it, it makes you very happy inside.
C'est rigolo parce que j'ai l'impression certaines choses, certains événements pour des copines pas chrétiens, c'est plus facile à venir dehors de l'église. On a eu par exemple une journée de bénisse où on a amené des sacs couchage à des gens qui SDF à Biarritz et à Bayonne. Là, j'ai eu des copines qui sont venues avec les enfants, ils sont adorés, ils ont été vachement touchés de faire cet acte. Mais ils ont peur de venir à l'église. C'est-à-dire de venir participer à des choses. J'invite toujours des copines, ils viennent, et peut-être un jour ou l'autre, ils vont venir à l'église. Ouais.
Ces 5 derniers mois ont été très intéressants. J'ai continué ces mois de recherche pour savoir où c'est que Dieu m'appelait, avec cette envie d'agir pour lui, en commençant à regarder les gens qui travaillent déjà pour Dieu et qui le servent, qu'est-ce qu'ils font. Donc j'ai commencé à voyager un petit peu, à aller dans des conférences à droite à gauche pour comprendre ce que les gens qui s'investissent pour le royaume de Dieu peuvent faire. Ces 5 mois, ça a été souvent un sens d'échec en avançant dans des endroits où j'avais toujours l'impression que j'en revenais après. Mais dans la réalité, quand on regarde derrière, on s'aperçoit de ce qu'on a déjà construit. Et on s'aperçoit qu'on construit quelque chose qui a du sens et qu'on n'est pas en train de tourner en rond finalement. Chaque essai rapporte quelque chose, une pierre à l'édifice. Quand je regarde ma vie par rapport à quand j'ai commencé à venir à la Surf Church, est-ce que c'était avant, et quand je regarde ce que je fais, où je suis maintenant, sur tous les niveaux, en fait, il n'y a qu'un truc qui me vient à l'esprit, c'est que ça me fait peur. C'est que ça me fait vraiment peur. Je vois ce qui s'est passé dans ma vie en 2 ans. Et la seule chose que je peux penser, c'est où je serai dans 2 ans à partir de maintenant. Et je me dis, mais je peux être n'importe où dans 2 ans, à faire n'importe quoi. Il y a eu tellement de changements et je me retrouve à faire des choses que j'aurais jamais pensé pouvoir faire. Vraiment, concrètement, je me retrouve à être une personne que j'aurais jamais pensé être, parce que j'étais vraiment timide, parce que j'étais plein de choses qui ont disparu maintenant. Et si je me dis que j'avance encore autant les 2 prochaines années, j'ai juste peur de qui je pourrais être, parce que c'est pas en mal, c'est juste que ça casse toutes les idées reçues de ce que ma vie serait, ça les brise toutes, et je me dis que tout est possible. Vraiment tout est possible, donc ça ouvre le champ d'imagination tellement que ça en fait peur.
It's from a packet from Lidl's, so you never know.
I'm praying a blessing upon his life, and I really believe God is going to do some amazing things.
Kev, for me, he's my friend, and we surf together, we laugh together, and I love hanging out with him. And that's what's great about all these people in the church, they're our friends.
This Sunday, we're going to go for sure.
Yeah.
So you can do some singing, and I can ask more annoying questions.
One of the things that Rich said at this one time, which really impacted me about church and kind of where it sort of fits in with a Christian life. It was this 1 week, and we just finished, and I can remember him saying something like, "That's it, it's done. Church is done. Let's go. Let's go live our lives now. Let's go live our lives for Jesus." And that was really quite impacting, I think, for me, because often there's this hype of big church service, and and that's great, but when you think about it, we're in church for like an hour and a half, and there's another 6.5 days of the week to be getting on with our adventure with God, and just meeting people in our work and our school and on the beach and in the bars, and it's that's where we bring an encounter with Jesus to the world, and that's so important. It's so important. It's not all about the Sunday afternoon when we get together for an hour or so.
When we first came, it was like I couldn't imagine what church was going to be like. I just thought it's going to be the 5 of us sitting on a sofa or with a guitar and just sort of start singing and do a Bible study with the kids. And it's a little bit, for me, it was like being a new parent. You can read all the books in this world, but nothing prepares you what it is to be in a new place with a new language, doing church from scratch with a bunch of maybe people who start deciding to come along, and with a bunch of people who want to learn. But like, I just love it so much. I can only describe it. Yes, when you hold your first baby, the love you feel for that baby is so overwhelming. And that's how I feel for the church, because it's just being birthed and it's growing and you see it with its changes. Then it gets teething pains and then you're thinking, oh, what can we do for that? Let's give it some paracetamol, right? What's the spiritual answer to that? You know, and
yeah, we're going
you
through.
have to always come to the source itself, because there is, you know, you can't just call up your pastoral team and have an emergency meeting. It's Rich and I and God.
Il y a deux choses que je pense que j'ai vraiment appris à la Surf Church. Il y a deux choses qui sont inscrites dans l'ADN de la Surf Church et qui m'ont influencé dans la façon dont j'ai grandi dans la foi. Et je pense deux choses auxquelles je suis vraiment attaché. C'est que Rich et Reggie ont basé leur ministère sur le fait de servir les autres, d'être disponible. Et ça se sent et c'est inscrit dans l'ADN de la Surf Church. Cette notion de service qui a été chère à Jésus et ils l'ont compris et ils essayent de le véhiculer dans la Surf Church et j'essaie de l'intégrer dans la manière dont je grandis dans la foi. Et l'autre chose, c'est qu'ils basent vraiment tout sur les relations. Comment construire des liens entre les gens, chrétiens ou non chrétiens. Ils ne cherchent pas à construire une église qui se rassemble entre certains murs. Ils cherchent à construire une église qui se répand pour créer des relations et plus particulièrement avec ceux qui en ont besoin et ceux qui ne sont pas chrétiens et qui cherchent des réponses dans leur vie. Ce sont les deux points, servir et créer des relations. J'espère deux choses qui marqueront ma foi et qui m'aideront à grandir plus loin et que j'ai envie de continuer de véhiculer.
Je voulais dire que c'est extraordinaire comment nous sommes dans le plan de Dieu et que Dieu nous dépasse. Il est déjà, tout le travail il a déjà fait, son trajectoire est déjà animée et nous sommes que des instruments.
Yeah, so God's done it all and we've just stepped out in obedience and like Jean-Jacques said, we've just his tools and try to not stuff it up, you know.
Just by the fact that we turned up and we chose to turn up every week, I really think the Lord honoured that, even though it wasn't so not slick. I mean, in terms of professional church, we are so not there at all. But then, I don't even know if that's really that important, to be honest. But I think just us turning up and us as a group of people saying, hey God, we're committed to you, we're committed to what you're doing here. I mean, it's certainly not going to be perfect, but we'll give it, you know, we're going to give it a good shot. And particularly during kind of the start of winter, we really felt we had to keep on ploughing through. Even if one person turned up, then it's totally worth it.
What's been really interesting to reflect upon is we came here thinking we're going to start something and realised very quickly that we're actually fitting into a story that had already begun a long time ago. We realised that people have been praying for this place, laying down foundations, doing mission for a long, long time. And that's been actually really reassuring. Because we fit into this
God's plan.
Yeah, into this little chapter, and it isn't hanging on our successes. It's part of a big story, and if anything, our life is. We're trying to dedicate our life to helping people find their story and how they fit into the big plan of life. So to say that we came to Hossegor and started a church from nothing, which is kind of what we thought we were going to do, is absolutely not true. We came and joined into what God was already doing. He was here, he'd turned up, he was doing his stuff, we just got in on the party at the right moment.
I'm just excited for the next couple of years, next 5 years, next 10 years. I mean, what's going to happen? I've got no idea. I've got no idea. but it's just really exciting to be on this adventure, because I'm convinced, you know, the Lord's not just going to bring us to this point and leave us. You know, he's just got a real plan and purpose for establishing his kingdom here, and that's so exciting.
And that's what I think, what I feel is brilliant about Surf Church, that we are not about trying to build something, a church, but we're trying to build people.